This video is made possible by SoundGym, the perfect place to train your ears. More about them later in the video. Choose right samples and effects every time. Let's say you have two compressors and can't decide which one fits better. Turn off one of the compressors, click the key mapping and map the bypass button to any key and start alternating the compressors and pick the one that sounds best with the track. Same method can be applied to sample selection. Key map is assigned to bypass of the channels, and then we will do same thing. If you need to go through more samples, use all the samples inside the drum rack and open the MIDI and go through the different notes to find sample that fits best to the track. Filling spectrum with energetic frequencies. One of the easiest way of doing this is just adding a noise to your track. If you want to make something a bit more coherent with your track, use resampling. Play the lead sound of your track, add a long reverb, add another reverb, and click on freeze. And then take off the original signal. New track, resampling. Now pitch that resample sound one octave up, EQ and sidechain compression together. We can even layer this with the white noise to make it more energetic. Making epic chord rolls. I have something like this. You need some type of plucky lead preset. Put the arpeggiator into chord trigger mode. And then take off the sync. So you can feel it change the rate, and then you group them together and then macro the rate and the gate of the arpeggiator. Click on the map. The first one will be the rate. We will start from 20 milliseconds to 350 milliseconds. And then we take the gate, again, same macro, and the gate will be from 20% to 100%. If you take a look how it works. And then we assign the cutoff to another macro. And then we will get a big whole reverb and two delays to make the sound really flip around your head. Let's take a look now. Like and subscribe. Beginner sample mistake. When beginners pick a sample, they often go very rich and very wet samples. A kick, and a fancy clap on top, and then a wet hi-hat, and of course very rich shaker. And all together. Now, we already have a problem with the loop itself. All these fancy sounds, they are trying to do their own thing, but the loop doesn't sound coherent together. The dirt hi-hat. What is a dirt hi-hat? It sounds like this. It opens up and closes down and makes the sound really dirty, but it's also really groovy at the same time. To make this one, we have distortion group. The first one is the dry one, and the second one is the wet distortion channel. First, we have a reverb, and then that goes into a heavy distortion. By playing with the mix here, we can actually change how much overdrive and how much that splashy distortion sound will be mixed into the original sound. So to the left, clean sound, and to the right, wet sound. And the main trick over here is recording your own automation while playing the loop. We can use the simplified envelope to make it even simpler for us to control. Isn't this just gorgeous? I get the same question over and over again. How can I train my ear so that I can become a better producer? An answer to this question is SoundGym. SoundGym gamifies the ear training process with really entertaining games. Let me show you. This is called EQ Mirror. First you hear the EQ'd sound, and then you try to replicate it. For example, we get 96% accurate in this case, and this one is from Compressor Game. So they have tons of different games that you can play and learn at the same time. And on top of that, they have hourly beat making competition, so you can compete with others while you're training your ear. You can get 30% discount with the link below in the description. The gated rooms. We will start this one with a flow chart. On the left hand side, we have the dry signal, and on the right hand side, we have the process signal. The first parallel chain is a small room reverb, but the main trick comes with the second parallel chain. And here we have big shimmering reverb. Problem with the shimmering reverbs is that they can overtake the mix and really mask everything else. The genius idea is adding a gate right before the big reverb and only use it when the vocal really gets loud. So when the vocal is loud, we will have this lush reverb, but otherwise we will just have the small room reverb in the mix. I have these vocals coming from my vocal tools.
It's how I am.
First, we will start with adding a small room reverb, and here the first channel is the dry signal, and then we have a small room reverb on top of that. 100% with cool lush reverb. Now, do you see these peaks on the vocal? These are extremely useful for these big hole reverb that we were talking about. So we create a new chain for big hole reverb. The problem that we have over here is that now it's playing all the time. To fix that, we're gonna add a gate. We would like to catch that peaks right there. We are just catching those peaks, bringing this very shimmering reverb. To make it more spicy, we can also introduce a delay, so when the reverb comes, we can pan it around with the delay effects. And once the chain is done, you can introduce a glue compression to glue everything all together. And all together now,
It's how I am. It's how I am.
dramatic arpeggio sound. We should create kind of a chord progression. I like this type of rising melodies because it adds to the drama. To turn this into arpeggio, we're gonna put an arpeggiator and go for up and down. This adds up to drama because it goes up and down all the time. Grouping them together, and then we are going to map 3 parameters to our macros. The first one is frequency, the second one will be rate, and the third one will be the gate. The main idea is while we are moving with the progression, we will open the gate, rate, and the cutoff all together to get this brighter and more aggressive sound to create a drama. Many people think about the high end or the air of the sound above 10 Hz, so below 10 Hz more like a mid-highs, but the way they say is that no, it's not like that. Almost all the clarity between 1 kHz, 10 kHz. Let's do a test here. Introduce a vocal and we're gonna bump EQ. I will put it in different places. Which one do you feel most like a high end?
Is it enough? Is it enough? Is it enough? Is it enough?
For me, this one is the main high end of the vocal. I think the most cost-efficient way to promote your website is Submit Hub. The idea is you can submit your songs to creators. I think they have Instagram creators, TikTok creators, and of course Spotify playlisters. Of course it's not perfect, but it's still, I think, the best option for the money that you are putting in. Multiple MIDIs. It is often desirable to edit multiple MIDI clips at the same time. I have this chord progression and I want to edit my plug sounds together with the chords. Just hold on to Control and click this one, and that will make it visible in our MIDI tab. You can change the focus mode on top. Click here, we are focusing on the plugs. If you click right here, we are focusing on the pad sounds. Inserting spaces. Sometimes you need to add space between different things. Let's say here. Oftentimes what you do is just select everything to create this space in between. You can just select the amount that you want to add, and all you need to do, Control I, and this will immediately introduce space over here. Turn in one single shot into the perfect grooves. So the first thing that we need to do, Control G, click this button, duplicate the original change. Let's turn this off. Now we will use not echo. It plays the same thing all the time. What we need to do, go to modulation, turn on LFO 2, and we will pick a random LFO. First we're gonna assign it to the sample offset so that every hit will start from different position. And then we are gonna assign it to the pitch. Every hit will also sound slightly different. And put an EQ so that we only get the highs. Final step will be side chain with the original sound, so the original sound hits, we duck this delay effect. And in the slight reverb, you can change the sample and keep all the settings same, and it will create a new groove to you.